Good evening and welcome to the show. The Birds avenge a Week 6 loss to the Giants behind a huge rushing day and a 4 TD passing efficient day from Jalen Hurts. It's time for my breakdown. Well, the rushing attack finally emerged in a big way when the Birds needed it most, with A.J. Brown out with a hammy injury and Brett Toth making his first start at center in place of Cam Jurgens. The O-line, Saquon Barkley and Tank Bigsby explode for 276 yards on 33 runs and 1 touchdown. Saquon Barkley's 65-yard explosion on the second play from scrimmage was a sight for sore eyes and set the tempo for the day. Now, as much grief as we've given Kevin Patullo for play calling over the first 6 weeks, it's only right that we give him some kudos for the adjustments to play calling over the last 2 weeks. The adjustment to double teams on run plays and the creativity and coordination of plays was quite impressive. Jalen looked poised and calm all day, passing from the pocket and moving on the run when necessary. He was 15 of 20 for 179 yards and racked up 4 passing touchdowns and a 141.5 rating on the day. Devontae Smith was a prime target on the day with A.J. Brown out, 6 receptions on 9 targets for 84 yards. Dallas Goedert caught 3 balls, 2 for touchdowns, and Jahan Dotson's lone receptions was acrobatic as he mossed the Giants defender to put the game on ice. But the story on offense was the run game and Barkley's big breakout game of the season. 14 runs for 150 yards and 1 touchdown, and the emergence of Tank Bigsby and his 9 carries for 104 yards and 11 yards per carry average. Defensively, this young group continues to grow before our very eyes. They dominated the line of scrimmage, holding the Giants' rushing attack to 21 carries for 68 total yards and a 3.2 yards per carry average. They harassed Jackson Dart all day long, tallying 5 sacks, 1 each for Hunt, Bond, Ajomo, Carter, and Davis. It cannot be underscored how important Nakobe Dean has been to the reemergence of this defense, particularly versus the run. Since his return in Week 7, the Birds defense have only yielded 78 yards per game on the ground versus the Vikings and the Giants, after giving up an average of 127 yards over the previous 6 games. The defense has also limited the big play over the last 2 games. These are all good signs for a young defense that is finding its footing and trying to establish its identity. 6-2 is a good place to be going into the bye week, looking to get Cam Jurgens, Landon Dickerson, and A.J. Brown healthy for the second half of the season. And with the defense finding its confidence in Vic Fangio, understanding what he has and how he can deploy each player, this team should be ready to make a similar run to last year after the bye. That's my breakdown. When I come back, former 23-year NFL coaching veteran.
Hi, got this old thing and the bill from the store where I got it. Figured you could beat it with a better deal on one of these big boys.
That doesn't work that way.
Well, at Verizon, anyone can bring in their AT&T or T-Mobile bill and they'll give you a better deal.
I thought Verizon was pricey.
No, better deal, best 5G network. Back to the TV. Does it come higher than 8K? Because I don't like to squint.
Ma'am, take your TV and go.
Bring your AT&T or T-Mobile bill to Verizon for a better deal.
Guess you're not as cool as Verizon.
You don't know that?
Picture this. You play big-time college football, you get some NIL money. You get drafted in the NFL, and you start making real big money. However, you're 23 years old and you don't have any credit. Here at Mid-Penn Bank, we're helping these athletes establish credit through secured credit cards and other strategies that can help develop their credit now, so as they continue to make money, they can have long-term success financially.
At Revolution X, we know that fortunes are made in times of uncertainty. Are you selling your investment real estate? Are you interested in deferring your tax with a 1031 exchange? At RevX, we're experts in 1031 exchange planning and the use of passive real estate options using DSTs. Not in the midst of an exchange and want to invest in real estate but don't know where to start? Revolution X has institutional grade real estate options for any size investor right now. Set up a consultation at RevXWealth.com. RevX, defer the tax, maximize the gain.
He dived!
No matter how you play, there's always another way to win on the BetParx app.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, let's do that again.
No matter how you play,
I just pushed on my tush. I just pushed on my tush.
there's always another way to win on the BetParx app.
Since 1893, Weber Display and Packaging has been Pennsylvania's leading manufacturer of corrugated packaging and displays. We're family owned with 4 Philadelphia locations, 2 converting facilities, a warehouse, and a fulfillment center. Designed through delivery, we exceed customer needs. Weber Display and Packaging, our core values drive everything we do. Come join our team. This segment is brought to you by Recovery Unplugged. Welcome back, former NFL head coach, OC, and now the co-host of SiriusXM NFL Radio, Todd Haley, joins the show. Todd, you got to be loving how this NFL season is trending in so many ways with so many different question marks at the halfway point.
Yeah, as a coach, Seth, and thanks for having me, but, I always broke the season up in quarters. We can't do that anymore with 17 games, but, we're kind of at that point where teams, that you're starting to see their identity, what they're made of, how they handle, adverse situations, all those types of things. So this is a fun part of the season. We're about to get into November. Which is the important part of the race. You want your team to be trending in the right direction and showing signs that you want to be a part of the mix as things get towards the back end of the season.
Is there a more scrutinized and debated team in the National Football League right now than the Philadelphia Eagles?
Yeah, they've kind of taken over, and this is from the outside, and I brought Nick Sirianni into the league, so I'm always rooting for the Eagles. But I feel like they've kind of taken over the Chiefs' throne of most hated NFL team right now, and that usually comes with having a lot of success, which they're doing. So more power to them.
So listen, questions persist about Jalen Hurts. I know as an offensive coordinator and at some point, a quarterback coach, everyone's questioning the franchise quarterback still after winning the Super Bowl, being a Super Bowl MVP, and the ongoing controversy with A.J. Brown and everything that surrounding that. And I know you've dealt with some of that, during your time in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, Pittsburgh among other places. Not Arizona with Fitzy. He was a dream receiver, one of the rare dream receivers to coach that didn't give you a lot of problems. But, I think it's unfair to Jalen, really do. All the guy has done is win. He's played within the scheme that he's asked to play. Last year it was, a lot of Saquon Barkley, which was, which Nick and the coaching staff felt was the best way to win. And obviously they were right. So, you're going to have some unhappy people, but in Jalen's case, I think he's a heck of a quarterback just because of that. He's unselfish. He'll do whatever asked and does it at a high level. I was excited last week with AJ out that he flourished in the passing game. Now, Saquon helped that, but, like I said, this is, I think the Eagles, like everybody else, are just trying to find their identity, what type of team they are, and that's part of the process.
Now listen, versus the Giants, I should say, they posted 276 yards rushing with 200-yard rushes, Saquon with 150, and Bigsby on 9 rushes for 104 yards. Add Jalen's efficiency over the last 2 games, averaging a QBR of 80.6 and a rating of 149.9. How scary can this offense be?
Oh, I think it could be really scary, and they've been beat up front. They did that, missing a key piece at center and some of those things. So, I think the Eagles are definitely a team, even though people like to hate on them, to pay attention to, because it's trend. At least they're trending in the right direction right now, especially after last week, because that was, that looked more like Eagle football to me. When you got a guy like Saquon and Jalen that can give you stuff on the ground too, but they've kind of done it both ways so far this year. They've had games where they've thrown it a bunch because Saquon didn't really look like Saquon earlier in the year, but I think that game last week against the Giants is what should scare most everybody in the NFL.
All right, so I know that you're an offensive guy, but how impressed are you with Vic Fangio and what he's been able to accomplish with so much unknown over the last 2 years?
Yeah, no, he's, nobody, there's a couple guys I get happy for. He's one of them because I have so much respect for him, having to coach against him a number of different times throughout my career, and kind of how he got discarded in Miami, and then shows up in Philly, and all of a sudden they go from worst to first defensively. He is a great defensive coach and a great leader of men on that side of the football. So, Jalen Carter, the corners, Mitchell and DeJean, it's just they're a pretty hefty group over there and fun to watch.
Well, Coach, it's been great having you on. I appreciate your time and insights. Thanks for joining me, man.
Yeah, no, thanks for having me, Seth. Big fan of yours.
All righty, my friend. Thank you. Brad Feinberg is up next with your weekly fantasy and betting picks for Week 10.
There's a number on the screen.
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 There is a number on the screen.
There's a number on the screen.
There's a number on the screen. There's a number on the screen.
Pride, passion, and persistence. These are the values that drive us all at Ron Jaworski Golf. We strive to deliver outstanding conditions as well as playability for golfers of all ages and abilities. Our championship golf courses offer a variety of challenges, from a link-style walk along the river to an escape into the pines and everything in between. My team at Ron Jaworski Golf is committed to delivering memorable experiences every single day. See all we do at ronjaworskigolf.com.
Since 1893, Weber Display and Packaging has been Pennsylvania's leading manufacturer of corrugated packaging and displays. We're family-owned with 4 Philadelphia locations, 2 converting facilities, a warehouse, and a fulfillment center. Designed through delivery, we exceed customer needs. Weber Display and Packaging. Our core values drive everything we do. Come join our team.
This is Parks. Parks, Pennsylvania's #1 casino experience. This is how you win.
At Mid-Penn Bank, we believe in the power of community. We're not just another bank, we're your bank. We're also your neighbor. For over 150 years, we've been helping dreams come true, financing projects that make a difference locally. From small businesses to community centers, we're here to support what matters most to you, donating time and resources to strengthen the Philadelphia region. And when Philly's favorite superstars need a bank they can trust, they turn to Mid-Penn Bank, just like you can. Mid-Penn Bank, stronger communities, stronger futures. Let's build something great together.
This segment is brought to you by Recovery Unplugged. Welcome back. Brad Feinberg, my in-house fantasy and betting guru, is here with your picks for Week 10. Give him a follow on X at Brad's Best Bet. My friend, have you seen enough improvement in the Birds to believe that they're back on track?
You know, Seth, it's a tough question. I mean, they had obviously that really good performance. I actually think, Seth, you could argue that may have been, it was right up there as their best performance. Obviously, seeing Saquon play like that was just a great thing for Eagle fans. Not going to say I've seen quite enough, Seth, but it was certainly a good beginning. And I think they're on the right path, but tough game this week versus Green Bay, which we'll get into.
Well, listen, my friend, this show is being pre-taped for Week 10 and Week 9. So based upon what you have available, the information you have available, give me your top 4 picks for Week 10.
Yeah, absolutely, Seth. Look, New England's playing Tampa Bay. Game's in Tampa Bay. I think New England's the better team. I really, really do. I think Tampa Bay will be a slight favorite here, but I think New England's better. I believe in Drake May. To me, Drake May, Seth, has been a top 5 player in the league. I think he's phenomenal. I think this New England team, everyone's looking for a future. New England, I bet them at 15-1 odds to win the AFC. I don't think they're going to, but I think they have a chance to number 1 seed. That's my first pick. I say they win that game outright. Next, Jaguars are playing the Texans. It's a rematch of an earlier game. This time, though, it's in Houston. I think Houston wins this one. I don't like the way the Jaguars are playing right now, Seth. I think Houston's defense is really tough. Stroud, I think, is far better than Trevor Lawrence. Give me the Texans at home. Next, Rams against the 49ers. We saw, Seth, I think it was about a month ago, this game was in L.A., and the Rams blew a game they never should have lost to a very depleted 49ers team. I say, Seth, here, they get their revenge. I think that the Rams win this game outright. I expect the 49ers to come in as slight favorite, but I say the Rams win this one. Seth, you talked about the Eagles. Let's talk about this game. Great game, one of the best games of this NFL season. Green Bay against Philadelphia. I'm expecting Green Bay to come in, Seth, field goal favorite or less. Like Green Bay, Seth, I do. I think Green Bay wins this one. I think Jordan Love has success against this Eagles defense. Don't trust this Eagles offense against the Packers. I think the Packers are going to get revenge from last year's playoff game. I think Green Bay covers this one. Probably my best bet of the week.
All right, so let's switch it up this week. Let's talk about, who your favorites are for MVP, Offensive Player of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year, and Rookie of the Year. And, you guys can go to Brad's Best Bet for fantasy info for week 10.
Yeah, Seth, it's interesting. Look at the odds for the MVP. Look, Mahomes is a big favorite right now, Seth. He's around plus 150. Probably deservedly so. Who else would I look at here? Only guy I would not be looking at Josh Allen. I really wouldn't. I don't think Josh Allen's putting up those kind of numbers at all. I'd be looking at Drake May is around 5-1, but I think this is Mahomes' award to lose, so to speak, and I don't think he's going to lose it. So lean here, Mahomes, Offensive Player of the Year. It's pricey, Seth. Jonathan Taylor's minus 250. To me, there's only 2 players who could win this award as of right now. Him or Jackson Smith and Jigma. But Taylor, the way he's running, Seth, I think he's got that award. Again, minus 250. Pricey. If you want to take a chance and the running backs get hurt, Jackson Smith and Jigma at 6-1 odds. If Taylor were to get any kind of injury at all, miss a couple weeks, 6-1, that's a nice price. Defensive Player of the Year, Seth, man, we saw Myles Garrett get 5 sacks, and he was pretty upset when he got taken out of that game. He's 3-1. He's the second choice. The favorite is Jerry Jones's guy who said he improved their team when they got rid of him, Micah Parsons, plus 145, plus 150 area. Seth, this is just such a tough award. Aiden Hutchinson's been great. He's sitting at 5-1. Benito of the Broncos is amazing. He's around 7-8-1. This is a tough award for me. I think there's so much great defensive players. This one's a little hard for me to project. Offensive Rookie of the Year, Seth, I do think Jackson Dart, he's the favorite at even odds. I think if he stays healthy, he's going to win. I think he's absolutely shown he is the real deal. I think he is the best rookie. If I had to look at one other player, Ty Warren of the Colts is sitting around 5-6-1. He'd be my next pick, because I think Ibuka is kind of slowing down a little bit. Ty Warren would be my second pick. And then, Seth, it's interesting. NFL Defensive Rookie of the Year, Abdul Carter. I don't think he's even been that dominant, but he's the favorite around even odds. But what I find interesting, Seth, is second choice Jahad Campbell and fourth choice Andrew Ibuka. And I do love the fact that those 2 guys are on that list. I don't know who's going to do it, but I don't think Carter's been that great, Seth. At even odds, I'm looking to see if there's someone I can sneak in there to win Rookie of the Year. Do you think Campbell or Mabuka can do it, or do you have an opinion on that if they have a chance to get in there?
Well, listen, I think Ibuka's always around the ball. Mabuka, I should say, is always around the ball. So there's a chance that he could get a couple more interceptions that could push him over the top. Yeah. With the reemergence of Nakobe Dean, I do not think that Jahad Campbell is going to get as many snaps, as he did over the first 6 games. But we'll see. We'll see how it all plays out. Hey, listen, my friend, I seen you pick those Packers. You know the Eagles handled them pretty handily twice last year, right?
You're right. No, but Seth, let me ask you a question. And again, let me ask you a question. I'm actually very curious. It's a good talking point. Very good talking point for everyone watching. You as an elite player, you played the division games twice, right? I'm sure there was a zillion times, too many to count, that you won the first game against your opponent by 3 touchdowns, then you lose the next one by 3 touchdowns. Why does that happen? I'm always curious about that. Like, I always feel like there's not a carryover, but do you think there is? I mean, sometimes there could be, but is there really a carryover? Because I can tell you so many times, Eagles at Dallas, you guys lose, and in Philly, you smoke them. It just, I don't know. I always find it to be like you just, as much as you think these things can turn with the wind.
Well, I believe that home field advantage, carries a big plus. The other thing too is that, sometimes on that particular day, they're just a better football team. It doesn't mean that, overall it's a better football team. I mean, you got to go out, you got to play the game, and on any given day, any team can beat any team. That's just the fact of the matter. All right, my friend, great insights and info as always. I appreciate your time. I'll see you next week. After this last break, my final thoughts and predictions for the Birds' huge Monday night matchup versus the Green Bay Packers at Lambeau Field. Since 1893, Weber Display and Packaging has been Pennsylvania's leading manufacturer of corrugated packaging and displays. We're family-owned with 4 Philadelphia locations, 2 converting facilities, a warehouse, and a fulfillment center. Designed through delivery, we exceed customer needs. Weber Display and Packaging. Our core values drive everything we do. Come join our team.
Gentlemen, are you ready for a wardrobe update? Introducing Divine Nine's Custom Menswear, your clothier for truly unique, custom-made threads. With Divine Nine, you can design your own one-of-a-kind suit, jacket, slacks, shirts, golf pants, and shorts, perfectly handcrafted by our skilled artisans who will bring your vision to life. Prepare to stand out from the crowd with Divine Nine's Custom Clothier, official clothier of Seth Joyner. Custom clothing made for you.
I got this old thing and the bill from the store where I got it. Figured you could beat it with a better deal than one of these big boys.
That doesn't work that way.
Well, at Verizon, anyone can bring in their AT&T or T-Mobile bill and they'll give you a better deal.
I thought Verizon was pricey.
No, better deal, best 5G network. Back to the TV. Does it come higher than 8K? Because I don't like to squint.
Ma'am, take your TV and go.
Bring your AT&T or T-Mobile bill to Verizon for a better deal.
Guess you're not as cool as Verizon.
You don't know that?
There's a number on the screen.
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 There is a number on the screen.
There's a number on the screen.
There's a number on the screen. There's a number on the screen.
At Revolution X, we know that fortunes are made in times of uncertainty. Are you selling your investment real estate? Are you interested in deferring your tax with a 1031 exchange? At RevX, we're experts in 1031 exchange planning and the use of passive real estate options using DSTs. Not in the midst of an exchange and want to invest in real estate but don't know where to start? Revolution X has institutional grade real estate options for any size investor right now. Set up a consultation at RevXWealth.com. RevX, defer the tax, maximize the gain.
This segment is brought to you by Weber Display and Packaging. Welcome back. After a topsy-turvy first 6 weeks of the season, the last 2 weeks, the Eagles look to be turning the corner and headed in a positive direction. The bye week couldn't come at a better time. On the offense, the O-line has been banged up most of the year. Cam Jurgens and Landon Dickerson will get a much-needed rest and time to heal, along with wide receiver 1 A.J. Brown and Saquon Barkley. I also believe that some time away from football and the Philly media will do A.J. and the rest of the team some good as well. 2 weeks is plenty of time for Kevin Patullo and head coach Nick Sirianni to do some self-scouting and continue to come up with creative and confusing ways to attack what defenses have been trying to do to them over the first half of the season. If the last 2 weeks are any indication, Jalen is settling in and playing his best ball. The O-line seems to be finding its swagger as well, and that bodes well for a team carrying a mountain of expectations for the city of brotherly love. Defensively, with the return of Brandon Graham and the expected return of Nolan Smith from IR and a surge in defense behind the reassertion of Nakobe Dean into the lineup, this unit looks to be ready for takeoff. 2 weeks of rest will help Jalen Carter work into condition a little more and get him back to being his dominant self. It'll allow for some technique and fundamental work for Kelly Ringo and Adoree Jackson, as well as for Fangio to get a look at Ja'Cory Bennett. The play of Moro Ojomo and Jalix Hunt have been a welcome revelation, and the confidence level of this defense looked to be rising. And if this team is to go on another Super Bowl run, they will need to keep improving. The trade deadline falls on November 4th, right in the middle of the bye week. It'll be interesting to see if Howie makes a move or if he and the coaching staff are confident in the talent they possess. Next up, a huge test and matchup with the Green Bay Packers, an NFC conference opponent. This will be the defense's biggest challenge of the 2025 season to date. Jordan Love is playing at a high level, and he has a stable of weapons at wide receiver at his disposal and the potential problem at tight end in Tucker and 2 running backs that run really hard. Offensively, Jordan Mailata and Lane Johnson will get reacquainted with an old foe, Micah Parsons, who has injected great belief and ferocity into this Packers defense. Lambeau Field will be rocking, and the 2 tackles should handle Parsons as they always have. When you observe these 2 teams, they look very similar, if not close, even in talent and efficiency. The Birds have had their number, though, beating them in Week 1 and eliminating them in the wild card round in 2024. I expect nothing less on Monday night. I like the Birds in a high-scoring battle, 24-31. That's the show for tonight. I'll see you next week as we look back on the Monday night matchup and look ahead to an all-important matchup at Lincoln Financial Field versus the Detroit Lions that could have #1 seed implications. Have a great night, Philly, and fly, Eagles fly.